let's go to this. On the right, a thumb posing as an insurance salesman. Or sorry, on my far left, on your far right. That's that guy. And then in the middle, between he and I, that's Joey Jones. And Joey is on Fox and Friends sometimes. I met him at the Boots campaign. I could not disagree with him politically more. Well, yes, I could. I certainly could, but within reason, or if for him and I to disagree more, we would both have to be guilty of direct acts of murder for our political beliefs, and more than likely we would be mustachioed and in the 70s and not speaking English and part of a junta or something. Anyways, he lost both his legs mid thigh, like just above the knee, or I think so. Yeah, because I think his thing's just above the knee, because I think he's got articulated digital knees or whatever. He's got both. He's a double amputee. Lost his legs in Iraq, Afghanistan. I'm not quite sure which battle it was actually, but he was there. He I think it was IED related. And he lost both his legs. So to that, regardless of the difficulties that I have even taking anything he says politically seriously, I will always say thank you for your service in that regard, because he gave something the rest of us haven't had to give. That said, he's still, even though he doesn't have his legs, he's still a complete person in my eyes, so I will argue his stupid ideas till the end of days. And he knows this, and he knows that I argue them out of respect, because again, I will only criticize you if I think you're a worthwhile human being, which is most people. There are very few people that I've written off entirely. I mean, I'm not going to discuss like Ted Bundy or BTK's ideas about feminism. You know what I mean? Like, why the fuck bother? Like, I've never felt the need to look at some of the. I've read the Unabomber's manifesto. I read it in the '90s, but I don't need to argue the finer points, because the entire thing falls apart during the part where he was killing strangers and blowing their hands off just to be an asshole because he didn't feel heard. It's narcissistic horseshit. So, anyways, if I'm arguing with somebody, it is me addressing their humanity and their worth. Fear the day when I don't think you're even worth it, in that regard. But this is the beginning of Hannity. Here's what he's going to tell us about the debt ceiling deal. So this will help us work all this shit out. Now, there's plenty of other people who are going to be flipping out about this shit over the next couple of days. And after it passes, oh boy, the videos are going to be great. Oh, they're going to be great. They're going to be financial versions of the after Title 42 goes, the whole fucking country is going to be invaded by brown people. It's going to be the equivalent of that argument. Okay, here we go.
Tonight, a big budget battle taking place on Capitol Hill. Speaker Kevin McCarthy and President Joe Biden have reached a tentative deal on the debt ceiling. Not all Republicans, not all Democrats are on board. In fact,
weird. Really? In a negotiation, not everybody likes it? Normally we have unanimity in everything that we do, just like the CCP. Putz.
Many are very outraged about.
Ooh, they're outraged, which means they would vote for it, but they just need the politics.
The agreement. Now, coming up, we have former Speaker of the House, Newt Gingrich. He supports.
Ooh, very exciting.
The deal, and Congressman Dan Bishop, North Carolina, who does not. They will join us. And
well, Newt Gingrich he's just lost his booking on the War Room then.
And debate the purported compromise. But here's what you need to know about the.
Okay, everybody get your pens and papers out. We're getting ready to take some fucking notes.
99-page so-called Fiscal Responsibility Act.
Yes, I got 99 pages and a debt ceiling ain't one.
Including arguments on both sides. Now, first, the name, just so you know, it means nothing. We already have.
Yeah, like fair and balanced. You know what I mean? It's one of those phrases.
Over 30.
It's just bullshit. You just say it, but it doesn't actually mean anything.
$31 trillion in debt, and that massive tally continues to grow even after this bill. Still, small government economists, people like Steve Moore, support the bill, calling it a step in the right direction. Republican Congressman, on the other hand, Chip Roy, is referring to it as a turd sandwich.
I think he said shit sandwich. Marjorie Taylor Greene said shit sandwich. And look, I don't know what Chip Roy's diet is like, but I'm certain that, if you're going to fuck around with gym rat sex gurus, at some point, shit sandwich has come up on somebody's bucket list. Sorry,
Washington Times. Meanwhile, they
it was just wrong of me. I don't even know why I chased that idea. I'm just so grossed out by her. I'll just shame and ignominy. What have I become?
describe it as a win for the GOP, all while Representative Nancy Mace is trashing the deal for normalizing record spending with
Thank God he doesn't have to look at anything but headlines.
the president who can't find his pants. Now,
Um, for the record, every time I've seen Joe Biden, he always has pants on. And most of the time we see Donald Trump, you can see his diaper. I just feel like that needs to be on the chalkboard.
Republican lawmakers, they're infuriated that the compromise maintains what is an unacceptably high level of COVID-era spending.
Because you can't, unless you're going to draft another fucking budget entirely and pass it all the way through the fucking Senate, and like, there are different rules on that, just like reconciliation. You can't reappropriate stuff without a new appropriations bill, and you're not going to go through a fucking appropriations bill, so you can only just limit what is to be limited. Fuck off.
And, repurposes nearly $100 billion in spending instead of making outright cuts to the budget. This is a bill that pushes.
Yeah, well, that's because you guys don't have the numbers to pass your own fucking budget. Because you barely have half of one house, stupid.
Any further negotiations back until after the presidential election, which is a very key point of contention. Many Republicans wanted yet another negotiation before next year's presidential election.
Yeah, because we won't have enough to talk about.
Fear handing.
That's good. In the middle of a fucking presidential campaign, that's what you want. Basically, because they feel like they could force Biden to come back to Washington during campaigning or something and negotiate this shit and keep him off the airwaves or something. Which is idiotic because it would just give him more airtime because it's a more serious issue than anything Donald Trump could just say on the fucking campaign trail. /DeSantis/ whoever the fuck he puts in the number 2 position.
Democrats a blank check if they keep the White House in 2024.
Which they're going to. We're going to. Just saying. We are going to. Democrats are going to keep the White House in 2024. Mm-hmm.
Some Republicans like about the bill. 1, it caps non-defense spending growth by no more than 1% in 2024 and 2025. 2, the bill does
1% over what had already been raised because inflation was higher. Now inflation is coming down. So as inflation comes down, you can actually bring down that inflationary adjustment a point as that comes down, and it seems pretty consistent. As a matter of fact, the economy is incredibly resilient compared to where Powell and others thought it would be, and so that 1% is a give you can give because Democrats are better shepherds of the economy. I mean, which is no small feat for a bunch of commies.
Claw back $28 billion in unspent COVID funds. 3, it officially cancels Biden's student loan pause. Repayments now restart at the end of the summer, but it doesn't end them. 4, it marginally expands.
Okay. Can anybody spot where he's a big dum-dum there? Anybody see that? Okay. The pause is on people not paying their student loans. That people have to go back to paying their student loans starting in August because of this. Because we are well out of COVID. There are more jobs than people can actually work. There was a big report in Bloomberg today about how they're nervous the Fed is going to keep increasing interest rates because there are so many job openings. It's distressing people because workers have more pay and more flexibility, so they're able to make better choices, which is a nightmare for some of those assholes. So clawing back a 1% that was on a set against a high inflation rate when the inflation rate comes down is not a loss. And the inflation rate was never going to stay high because it was always transitory because it wasn't based on monetary policy. It was based on fucking supply shock. God damn it.
Now restart at the end of the summer, but it doesn't end them.
Okay, and that's the other thing. Did you hear what he said? Like a big stupid. no Republicans want to end student loan payments. What he means is end Biden's forgiveness program, which is not what he's talking about at all. Unrelated. The pause in payments on the loans people have taken out that they have to go back to paying end in August. No Republicans are suggesting that they should never be restarted. It's just dumb.
Repayments now restart at the end of the summer, but it doesn't end them.
Right. Yes, it does not end them. What are you, some kind of commie or something? It's just stupid. Like he has. I don't even know if he knows what the fuck he's saying.
4, it marginally expands work requirements for certain social programs like food stamps. 5, funding to Biden's insane.
Yes, it puts work requirements in, which it already has for people 19 to 49 with a bunch of exceptions. You have to be able-bodied, you have to be able to have access to childcare, or it gives you a break out if you're homeless or if you're a veteran. And now they've extended it from 19 age to 49 to 55 years old, from 50 to 55. That's added on top of it. 50 to 55-year-olds with no kids who are able-bodied and can work have to at least try to get a job. If they're not able-bodied, they don't have to. If they're a veteran, they don't have to. If they're homeless, they don't have to. If they have young children at home, they don't have to. That they have to look after. They don't have to. Most of them try, but all 9 of them that fit that fucking needle thread will have to look for a job.
$80 billion plan to double the size of the IRS. That will be cut by $1.4 billion a year. But
I'm sure there's some people at the IRS who are good at accounting. They'll figure out a way to make it work.
A far cry from the Republican bill that slashed the program completely. And according to CNN, another $20 billion will be repurposed in 2024 and 2025. Quote, this provision does not appear in the text of the bill, but another source familiar with the deal said both sides have agreed to that. But that
because, again, you can't create an appropriations bill from scratch because it requires a bunch of other committees and a bunch of other shit and a part of order that's bigger than the whole thing and the blah, blah, blah. And if you did it, you'd fuck the whole thing, and who gives a shit? They're adulting. Let the adults adult.
Best case scenario is Biden's IRS expansion will still have around $60 billion to work with. As conservatives point out, the budget cuts are small.
60, what? Hold on. The provision does not appear in the bill. Hold on. The deal would also repurpose $10 billion from fiscal 2024 and another $10 billion from fiscal 2025 appropriations to be used in non-defense areas. Yeah, that's from unspent COVID funds. That's not IRS funds, fuckhead. Okay, they just threw this shit. They're just bullshitting. He's trying to get it passed. That's what this is. Hannity and his writers are soundly in the I don't want my investments to go to shit. Pass this goddamn thing. So he's just, it doesn't have to make sense. It just, by the time his viewers realize that he's been bullshitting them, it's over. This is so stupid.
2024 and 2025, quote, this provision does not appear in the text of the bill, but another source familiar with the deal said both sides have agreed to that.
By the way, the source being CNN, part of the mainstream media. So I don't buy it, okay? I don't believe any of it. It's all bullshit, okay? It's fake news. Fake news. I can't even believe Sean Hannity is citing CNN and saying that they're, it shouldn't even matter what order those words are in. They're all lies. Lies.
But that means best case scenario is Biden's IRS expansion will still have around $60 billion to work with. As conservatives point out, the budget cuts are small.
No. It'll have $78 billion to work with. Again, those two things at $10 billion is part of a $40 billion package of COVID funds that are going to be repurposed.
Not enough for some Republicans. Remember, their bill cut $4.8 trillion. Also, the work requirements feature a lot of
yeah, but they didn't have the votes with their own Republicans in the Senate Dum-dum. They also don't have the White House.
And some believe that the cuts are essentially window dressing to a terrible bill. Now,
some say, some people say, some even say, some say, you're sounding a little CNN there, Sean.
other Republicans are for it. The Republicans passed the original bill, again, that saved $4.8 trillion over 10 years. According to Kevin McCarthy, this bill saves just over $2 trillion, which is a record spending cut. Now, finally, the bill also cuts some red tape around certain energy projects and expedites a pipeline in West Virginia. That's good for the energy sector in this country.
By the way, that's something that Manchin fought for, and it is another situation where shifting from coal to natural gas as a measured move towards renewables is something that Democrats have been fighting for a long time, with or without Manchin in this situation. This particular pipeline is a gas pipeline, and that would, I guess, put even more coal out of commission, shifting to a form of fuel that is less polluting. You know, incrementalism. How everything gets done. Don't believe me? Go to the gym once and never go again, and then tell everyone you're fit now.
Of course, Democrats, they are also livid about the provisions. You have the far-left Sierra Club calling it a bad...
The far-left Sierra Club is livid.
...deal for the country. You have Senator Tim...
Terrible public policy. Why the debt deal infuriates climate activists. Because climate activists believe that you should end fossil fuel tomorrow in all its forms, even if it kills 1 billion people. Because you can't make an omelet without killing 1 billion people.
McCain attempting to now torpedo the legislation in the U.S. Senate. You have Congresswoman Cori Bush now accusing her fellow lawmakers of, quote, taking food out of vulnerable people's mouths. Needless to say, Democrats, they're not happy with this bill.
Well, and you, by the way, this is how you can tell that Hannity is actually pushing for this, because his viewers want Cori Bush angry. Understand that. Understand that making Cori Bush angry is enough for them to want their representative to vote for it. That's the messaging here in this Sean Hannity clip.
Like some Republicans aren't. Take a look.
We're being held hostage because I am one of the people that has read all 100 pages of this bill, and I have been asking questions for 3 days, and there are things in this bill that I would clearly not support.
Will you vote in favor?
Of course there are. It's a compromise. There is no such thing as a bipartisan piece of legislation that doesn't have something in it you would not support. I don't even know why that, I mean, okay, I do know why. I mean, from a political standpoint, that's, again, certain Democrats have the right to, been given enough leash to bitch about it or not vote for it as well. But ultimately, they're going to, because the alternative is the destruction of the very businesses and lives of the people in their district that actually vote and that actually need the help.
I'm still undecided because I know we can't default.
She's going to vote for it.
Angry that we're in this position.
So I have some serious concerns about the deal, Wolf, and my team and I are still reviewing it. We just received the text last night. But one of the major concerns is on non-defense discretionary spending.
First of all of the changes in this, it only deals with non-defense discretionary spending. They're things that are not already allocated, or that are not specifically allocated and therefore can be reused or moved around. This is all about non-defense discretionary spending. By the way, every single debt deal we've ever had that I'm aware of since at least the mid-'80s, when I started giving a shit, when I was in high school, has been about non-defense discretionary spending.
The problem is the Joe.
I think the one difference would be that, like, when they tried to have a balanced budget amendment and they used that clip of Biden saying we were going to cut everything, Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid, everything, because it all had to come down. As long as all of it comes down equally, we're cool. But once you start picking favorites, we're going to go back to picking our favorites, and we think Social Security and Medicare and Medicaid can't do that. And we'll if everything has to be cut, then states can be forewarned and forearmed and can pick up the slack.
Expansion pipeline that we fought so hard to stop from being built, that is still a part of this bill.
Now, no doubt many on both sides of the aisle are either happy or unhappy about the, quote, compromise. Even though the bill is online for all to see and has advanced through committee, it is still subject to change with amendments, and that complicates the agreement even more. And we have the so-called hard deadline, which is not a hard deadline, which Janet Yellen says is June the 5th.
Asshat, the hard deadline was in January. They can just shuffle money around to make sure payments are made on time with available funds up till a certain point. But those available funds are spoken for, like all of them. The last check goes out the door on January 5th or June 5th. It is a hard deadline. It matters.
We do know one thing for sure.
I do know one thing for sure. I'm a thumb. Sorry.
Holder of our debt is the Communist Party of China.
Fuck are you talking about? Hold on. Yeah. Our national debt's around 31 trillion right now. What I'm about to show you is an older figure. So it has gone down, not up. The debt has gone up, but the amount owned by China has gone down. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you, China has about 1.1 trillion in U.S. bonds that they have purchased. They have about $1.1 trillion in U.S. national debt, which is the most in the world in nominal terms, and roughly 26 trillion, which roughly 26.7 trillion is the end of 2020. That's how much we have. Is a bit more than Japan owns, which is the second largest foreign holder of U.S. debt. China's share of U.S. debt is about 3.2% of the total U.S. debt and 37% of public debt held by foreigners. See that? They have 30% of foreign debt, but 2%, 3.2% of the overall debt. The number looks big when you only talk about foreign bonds sold. Most of our debt is to the Social Security Trust Fund or to bondholders internally or any number of other, financial finaglings. China's share of U.S. debt is about 3.2% of the total U.S. debt and 37% of the public debt held by foreigners. U.S. debt is considered a sound investment by both domestic and foreign actors. Does anybody... We have $31 trillion worth of debt. China has 1.1 of it. Who the fuck thinks you... Who, in a 31-to-1 ratio, who says the one gets to dictate to the other 30, the other holders, as it were, how things get done? Especially if they want to get paid back. Good Lord. Here's another. This is August. This is the new one. Oh, okay, yeah. So this has gone down since. Remember, it was 1.1 trillion. That was 2020. Get ready for this statistic. China owns $981 billion in U.S. debt. Oh my God, it's actually down. That means we owe China nearly $1 trillion. But wait, let us explain. That's NPR doing it. Asshole. They used to have 1.1 trillion. Now they own 981. They've been selling it. We've been buying it back, and then the Fed buys the treasuries back from them, essentially pays them out and puts them in a fucking shredder. While this number may seem large, the total amount of U.S. Treasuries outstanding is more than $30 trillion. And China isn't even the largest foreign holder of American debt. Of late, though, China's been cutting back on U.S. Treasuries. So what would happen if Beijing decides to sell off all their holdings in one day? What impact would that have on the U.S. economy? And should we be worried? No. No, we should not be worried. You're welcome. Hold on, where's this shit? Go back to where we were. Yeah. Just to remind everybody, this dickhead wants you to think that China has all of our we have to go borrow money from China. They're taking less of our debt now because they can't afford it and they don't have enough dollars to buy it. Oi.
And they do not fear, they do not respect this current president, this administration. But
you think that tariff reach around horse shit they were letting Trump do wasn't just a giant payoff scheme for him? You think the tariffs that he was using to pay off fucking farmers to try and stay in office wasn't a plot by the fucking CCP to guarantee he was in office? You an idiot? Trump was, up until COVID, Trump was literally their favorite president ever. And had they had the ability to follow through on phase one of their fucking trade deal, and you know, COVID had been, you know, I don't know, cut short a little bit, he'd have been back on their dick immediately.
this week, they spit in our faces yet once again.
Ouch. Oh, China rejects Biden administration request for meeting between military leaders. Oh, they spit in our faces. Of course, they had to do it from far away because we didn't have a meeting with them.
And refused what was a polite invitation for our country's top defense officials to meet in Singapore. They said, no go. And
yeah, well, did it ever occur to you that one of the reasons we asked was so that we could say we asked? That sometimes you call a meeting to try and show everybody in the world that you're being the bigger person and watch them be dicks about it, so there can't be any question that you're who the bully is in that situation. We wanted to sit down. They said, fuck you. So that's why we pulled all of our industry out. See how that works? You fucking thumb.
this also comes as China's neighbor, North Korea, well, they just launched a space vehicle in preparation.
Yeah, they slingshot a Jeep into low orbit. Yeah, we're all very concerned, Sean, about North Korean satellites. Do you ever get the feeling that one of the reasons why they're trying this now is because all of their missiles are duds, and they just throw like rockets with washing machines in the front of them into the fucking ocean, and it stopped convincing everyone. So next they're going to be like, we're watching you. We're watching. Oh, we're watching. Fucking please.
For the country's very first spy satellite.
Ooh, I'm sure it'll work great. That's the thing about spy satellites. That's the thing about satellites in general. I mean, it's not like there's a bunch of debris up there or a lot of, complicated science involved. I'm sure they're killing it. Also, their people are starving to death. Like, we have economic issues in the United States, but nothing quite that would, I think, eliminate our space program. But North Korea overall has direct famine right now. Not food insecurity, not lack of grocery stores within a certain driving range. Fucking famine.
Which reportedly ended in failure. We can only hope. It is now.
I'm shocked. Yeah, why'd you bury the lead? Because you wanted to scare us first.
More clear than ever, under Biden, we are a train wreck both at home and abroad.
Why are we a train wreck? Is their fucking satellite that crashed?
China has declared a Cold War against our country, and we are doing nothing to stop it.
Sorry, China has declared the Cold War? What?
It is now more clear than ever. Under Biden, we are a train wreck both at home and abroad. China has declared a Cold War against our country, and we are doing nothing to stop it. Hey,
first of all, listen to that phrase again. This is a great example of just the stupidity of Sean Hannity and the ignorance on the issue. But has declared a Cold War on us, and We're doing nothing to stop it. Wouldn't you just, I mean, I guess if somebody declares war against you, you would want to win the war or defend yourself. We're obviously doing a lot in that arena.
It is now more clear than ever. Under Biden, we are a train wreck both at home and abroad. China has declared a Cold War against our country, and we are doing nothing to stop it. Hey.
Okay, I guess nothing to stop China or the Cold War. I don't know. It's fucking goofy. Can I show you guys something real quick? Let's see. I have to remember. Okay. Where is it? So, let's see. Volt Typhoon. There it is. So, I don't know how many, like, recent story because they've really gone after these guys, but does anybody in the chat room know about the Volt Typhoon hack? Do you guys remember that? There were a series of there was a hack of military equipment in Guam, which is the farthest east, farthest west American territory, and it turned out that it was this security company and the Chinese hackers, this Volt Typhoon group, had they were able to get access into these things because they knew all the code from this company, which is owned by a Chinese American, a guy who eventually got citizenship but was born in China. And the company itself is looking increasingly sketch, let's just say. But this is, let me try to see if I can show you this. Volt Typhoon and other Chinese groups accused of hacking the U.S. and others. So they've been doing this kind of stuff over the last little bit. And interestingly enough, this particular hack was based on materials, some of which were purchased a decade ago, but the rest of it that were updated during the Trump administration, and found out and stopped and prosecuted during the Biden administration. Again, if Biden is on the take, if Beijing owns him, what the fuck did they ask in return? So, here you go. Singapore, May 25th. And Chinese hacking teams have been blamed by Western intelligence agencies and cyber security groups for digital intrusion campaigns across the world. Let me shrink this down. Targeting everything from government and, let's see, let me move out of the way, military organizations to corporations and media groups. Cybersecurity firms believe many of these groups are backed by China's government. U.S.-based Mandiant has said some Chinese hacking groups are operated by units of China's army. China's authorities have consistently denied any form of the state-sponsored hacking, saying China itself is a frequent target of cyber attacks. It is WS National Security Agency, the world's largest hacker organization. Yeah, it's the same projection we get from Russia. Some of the biggest Chinese hacking teams identified intelligence agencies are Volt Typhoon. That's these guys. Western intelligence agencies and Microsoft said on May 24th that Volt Typhoon, a group that they described as state-sponsored, had been spying on a range of U.S. critical infrastructure organizations from telecommunications to transportation hubs. And they were in there because of this, the cybersecurity firm that they somehow had like a backdoor into. They knew all the code of this particular company. They describe the attacks in 2023 as one of the largest known Chinese cyber espionage campaigns against American critical infrastructure. China's foreign ministry described the reports of it as a U.S. disinformation campaign. Backdoor diplomacy. Look out. Just saying. Moon River. Palo Alto Networks, a U.S. cybersecurity firm, says its research showed backdoor diplomacy. Moon River. Has links to the Chinese state and is part of the Apartment 15 hacking group. A Reuters report in May identified backdoor diplomacy.
Whew. Thank you, Doc. You ever serve time?
As being behind
Moon River.
A widespread, quit it, series of digital intrusions over several years against key Kenyan ministries and state institutions. The Chinese authorities said is not aware of such hacking and described the accusations as baseless. Yeah, this is where they're just in case Africa decides, they're going to find a way to pay back the Belt and Road Initiative, the Bait and Rob Initiative loans. China can undermine that digitally before they get a chance to, so they get to own the materials in the territories that they held as collateral. Okay. Apartment 41. Chinese hacking team at Apartment 41, which is also known as Wonky, Double Dragon, and Amoeba, has conducted a mix of government-backed cyber intrusions and financially motivated data breaches, according to the U.S.-based cybersecurity firms FireEye and Mandiant. The U.S. Secret Service said the team has stolen U.S. COVID relief benefits worth tens of millions of dollars between 2020 and 2022. Taiwan-based cybersecurity firm Team T5 said the group has targeted government, telecoms, and media victims in Japan, Taiwan, Korea, the United States, and Hong Kong. Apartment 41 was named by the U.S. Department of Justice in September of 2020 in retaliation in relation to charges brought against 7 hackers for allegedly compromising more than 100 companies around the world. The Chinese authorities have described such reports as groundless accusations, of course. Apartment 27, they all live in the same building, which is nowhere near Apartment 227. And I would like to say the Jeffersons are completely innocent in this entire endeavor. They claim responsibility for cyber attacks against Taiwan in 2022 during a visit by then House Speaker Nancy Pelosi, saying it acted as a protest against Pelosi. Cybersecurity firm Mandiant said last year the group compromised the computer networks of at least 6 U.S. state governments between 2021 and February 2022, while the German authorities blamed it for attacks against German pharmaceuticals, technology, and other companies. We now, let's see, Chinese tech entrepreneurs keen to de-China as tensions with U.S. soar. That's another thing. And U.S. seeks to curb investment in Chinese chips, AI, and quantum computing. This is just an ongoing thing. Again, if Biden is in the tank for Beijing, why the fuck would he allow this? And if Trump was so anti-China, why didn't he start it? He didn't. He just set up a situation where China could pay him basically a gigantic fucking bribe to tie the countries together for a decade. That's what the Chinese trade deal was. The 3-phase trade deal that Trump was supposed to set in motion was to tie our country to their economy for another decade, something they desperately need, and we don't. Meanwhile, Biden comes in and is like cutting fucking barge rope between us at the fastest clip. Like I said, Biden has been the harshest towards China of any president since before Nixon. So, I'm just saying.